Hey guys, what's up? George here with Sideways Toast, and today I'm going to bring you another episode of Drifting Stock. Today I was in the Lexus LFA. This car is just amazing in video games and in real life. It's actually one of my favorite cars of all time. And if I did have $375,000 sitting around, this is what I would have purchased. And astonishingly, every time they sold one, they would lose money because they just spent so much money engineering, building, all of those things with this car. It's just amazing, and I really do like it. And it just sounds amazing. I don't think this game gives it justice, but it just sounds astonishing. Let me give you some statistics on this astonishing vehicle. Let's start out with the power. It has 550 horsepower, and keep in mind this is all coming from an amazingly good sounding V10 engine, which is just naturally aspirated. So there's no turbocharger noise to just muffle the noise of the actual engine. 550 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque, weighs about 3,250 pounds, and of course has a 4.8 liter V10 engine. This car, it's just amazing to me. Like those statistics, they're not. It just feels so much faster than those statistics show. Like it is. It's just amazing how good this car is. It has amazingly good handling. It took me a while to get used to it. This isn't when I started out. It took me a while to get used to the car, drive it around a little bit, because it had so much more grip than I was expecting it to. It wasn't going right, which is just amazing. So this car, I really love this car. It's one of my favorite cars of all time, as you probably can tell. It's pretty good drift car. Another thing, you see that spoiler coming up. These cars are not designed to drift. Their engineers make it like, oh, they're gonna get oversteer here. Fix that. Because you don't want oversteer when you're driving. It can slow you down. So they try and focus to give it maximum grip, which you can kind of tell. But if you give it a bootleg, yeah, there were some small accidents I had. Look, I leave it on cosmetic damage. If you're wondering, I don't do simulation because by the second lap of any race, I'm not going to be moving anymore because I crash a lot. So this car, if I were to make one myself, I would never, well, I might, no, I wouldn't supercharge it. I would leave it naturally aspirated. It just sounds that good. I would say if maybe a little bit more horsepower, maybe like 650 and maybe the street or sport tires. And maybe, I don't even think it would need that much tuning. I think that's all you would really have to do to it. And of course, the brakes and suspension. I don't think I would go for the weight reduction because I really kind of do like the weight to throw around in my cars, especially ones that are already semi-light. This one isn't extremely light, but I think with that much power, it would just be fine. It wouldn't need the weight reduction. I usually do weight reduction on cars where you just can't get the power that you want out of them. So, but I think this car, and I think if you I think you can twin turbocharge. Don't hold me to that. I think you can twin turbocharge it, which you just give it an astonishingly. I think with that you can just go to the moon with all the power, but you really don't need that much because a functional drift car is a functional drift car. A car with 900 horsepower that you're doing burnouts in fifth gear in is not a functional drift car because you might be able to drift it as well as a car with maybe 500 horsepower. But it's just, why did you put that extra 400 horsepower? And it just makes your life so much harder. I mean, sometimes you really just do need, like I have a 1,000 horsepower Mustang that I love to use in Maple Valley. That's the only place I drive it because it's just terrible everywhere else besides that track. I don't know why that is. Well, I guess it has some longer corners, which I like to use in that car. But, some cars are better on some tracks, obviously. Like this car, I like this section. It's pretty flat. Some sections are like they have banks, which I kind of like. Sunset Peninsula, it has massive banks on the sides, and they really just mess me up when I'm drifting. But well, I guess like you can. That's off topic, but I really did like this car. You know what I would do to it. Thank you for watching this episode of Drifting Stock. If you did like it, make sure to leave suggestions for cars I'll do in the future. I promise you, I will do the car if you leave a comment, and it's rear-wheel drive. If you want me to do all-wheel drive as well, leave a comment. Tell me, because I am not a real big fan of all-wheel drive. It's a lot. Usually with all-wheel drive cars, you actually got to jam 1,000 horsepower into them to actually make them drift. Like, you can really get sideways with them with 1,000 horsepower. Like, I have built 1,000 horsepower all-wheel drive 240, and it's just like you're pretty much sideways all the time because all the wheels are just going. I don't know. That's off topic. So leave suggestions for cars you want me to do in the future. I will do them. If you did like this video, don't forget to leave a like. Leave some comments, as I said before, about cars I should do in the future. Other segments I can do right now, I have done a couple of drift builds, but not many. I like doing this drifting stock, but eventually I'm going to run out of cars to do in drifting stock, and I'm going to have to head over to another, whatever you call it, another series, I guess you could call it that, because I don't know, what do you want me to do? I could do online drifting, more drift builds, anything you want. I could buy cheap cars at the storefront, and drift those. I have a good tune for a Prius for a front wheel drive drift. It's not really, well, yeah. If you would like to see that, let me know. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to make sure that I know you want to see those videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.